Zeno Mercer, Senior Research Analyst here at VettaFi. Thank you for joining me again on screen. I know you're in Memphis now. You seem to always be on the road, out talking to various AI companies. I know you were in Brooklyn doing the same last week. How are you doing?
Doing good. Yeah, it's good to be back home, and certainly on the road. There's lots of innovation happening all across the globe. So gotta keep staying on top of everything.
Yeah, innovation seems to be like the key word around all things AI. And Zeno, no pun intended, but I'm thinking about Think, the THNQ index, also known as VettaFi's ROBO Global Artificial Intelligence Index. Again, the ticker is THNQ. I'm thinking about think and AI because although Webster Dictionary this year said the word of the year is authentic, I thought it was ironic that the acronym of the year is definitely AI. So closing out 2023, I've got questions for you. I know you're the right guy to talk to about all things AI. Today, we're seeing AI all over the headlines. I recently read that McDonald's is using AI to make better hamburgers. I'd love to know your thoughts there. I also just read earlier today that UPS is using AI to combat package theft this holiday season. So what's your take on better hamburgers or decreasing package theft with AI?
Yeah, John, I'll say this, and you're right. The cadence of new AI releases, milestones, and announcements is astounding and only accelerating. This quarter alone, we've seen massive AI announcements. We've got as you said, burgers. It doesn't just start there or end there. I mean, you're seeing AI deployed both on the product side, operations side, all throughout the enterprise, government, and even consumer ecosystems. As we're actually starting to be able to implement this, monitor it, and go from this initial testing phase into a deployment phase. So we're getting closer to this point of real-time personal AI assistants and autonomous vehicles and all these things that have been kind of on people's minds that follow the space for a long time. But now we're getting to this point where the infrastructure, the technologies, the regulation, and other elements are coming together. And of course, this looks really different from AI back in 2018 when we launched the Think Index.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a California kid. You know this. Does this mean McDonald's can make a better burger than In-N-Out?
Ooh, that's probably up to consumer preference, but it does mean that we're going to see improvements across supply chains, across the way that they're actually producing the burger. I mean, if you think about it, they're probably reverse engineering every single step and the taste and the quality, all of these different elements together to engineer a better burger. Just like they're going to make better cars, better batteries, better everything that's in our lives today will be AI driven going forward.
Love it. Okay, so everything's better with AI. I love the optimism.
I'm a techno optimist, John.
100%. Let's talk about the index. How's performance been with the THNQ index?
So THNQ Think is up 21% in the fourth quarter of 2023 after a slight breather of being down 5% in Q3. So it's had a stronger Q4. Year to date, the index is up 58%, which is slightly trailing its 2020 performance of 68% growth. The year's not over, but that was also before AI was popular. A big difference between now and then, though, is that in 2021, we saw forward sales hit over 10 times, and now it's just now gotten back to its long-term average of 6.5 times. So the actual revenue and performance are actually starting to really get in gear. Versus last time, it was just kind of this overall market bubble that we saw.
Yeah, from my vantage point, I think another big difference of then and now, ChatGPT. How has ChatGPT, which has certainly dominated headlines this year as well, helped or hurt stocks in the index?
So ChatGPT and GPTs and overall large language models in the broader extent have created this whirlwind of actual investment by governments and enterprises, technical leaders and non-technical leaders alike, to invest in the infrastructure that will go into AI. Not necessarily full deployment, but we're in this massive frenzy of testing phase, which has really been boosted NVIDIA, at least in this first leg of what we'll call the AI journey. And so to those that are not aware, the Think Index actually adapts as these technological advancements come through. we're monitoring these changes, and we rescore companies based on innovation and technical leaps and comparisons. And these changes are actually implemented on a quarterly basis. So you asked, how is this actually implementing or impacting AI stocks right now?
Yeah.
So let's look at this last earnings season. Q3 earnings season just wrapped up. 92% of Think is profitable now. The weighted average EPS grew 54% and sales 11.8%, with 88% beating expectations. Even within that forward outlook, 2024, 2025, we saw revised upwards revisions and guidance revisions. So, and even then, if you look at the whole ecosystem, a lot of buyers are still trying to figure out what their plan is. So a lot of these pipelines aren't even registering the companies that are going to be coming on board and really figuring out how they're going to use AI, deploy AI, and across the different modalities of industries. So, really thinking these numbers are still conservative.
That's phenomenal. It sounds like you're not the only one that's optimistic about AI. It sounds like a lot of investors are optimistic about investing in AI. Tell me about some of the constituents in the index. Like, what are some of your favorite names that you haven't mentioned so far? Then I'd love to hear about maybe a lesser known name that's not getting headlines, but maybe should.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we have 11 subsectors in Think, and these range from semiconductor, network security, business process, and actually 9 of the 11 subsectors are up double digits this quarter. So we're actually seeing growth. It's not just in NVIDIA. In fact, NVIDIA is actually kind of at the bottom of the pack this quarter. So we've got companies outside of NVIDIA like Taiwan Semiconductor that actually produce the chips for AI. And one of the reasons why we're really excited about and why we include a company like TSMC is because they supply to other players in computer vision and AI chips. Microsoft is even looking at developing their own AI chip. So we could see some pressure as companies try to diversify away from NVIDIA.
Gotcha.
Companies like NVIDIA as well. Network and security, another subsector within Think. We've got companies like Arista and Pure Storage, which provide critical infrastructure for scaling these AI applications on the networking and the storage side. More data, more video data, more interaction. It's a lot to deal with and process. Yeah. So these companies are kind of like a proxy into all these different other companies that are developing. You also have cybersecurity issues. The more that is augmented and enabled by AI, the more cybersecurity we need to have in place to protect those processes and rails, understand what's going on. So companies like CrowdStrike are really benefiting and using AI and helping enable the adoption of AI.
That's incredible. And it's awesome to think that 90+% of these constituents now are in the state of profitability. Zeno, I've got one more question for you. And I know you got to run, but like, what are some 2024 predictions that you have? Like, give me your top 2 predictions of things that are likely to come in the world of AI and potentially the Think Index.
Right. So I would say maybe a hot take or just a take is that I think Microsoft's really going to go after Apple and the consumer. They just bought Activision. They've got this open AI play. You put the two together with their enterprise prowess and players. I don't think Microsoft wants to lose out against Apple on the next wave of consumer-focused technology products. And so Apple's dominated iPhone. What's after the iPhone? A mix of wearables, computer vision, wearables, things like that. Yeah. And I believe Microsoft's making a really big play there that people aren't really looking at. Overall, see a bigger uptake in the overall AI-related technologies and services going in as companies look to prepare themselves for this new paradigm into AI across products, services, and operations. And then I think 2 really big issues or things that are going to come out of 2024 is one is personal AI assistants. I think that's going to be a thing that really starts to take off is the combination of this AI, sometimes even open source AI, which we're seeing compete even closer with some of the top tier models, such as OpenAI's GPT-4, combined with data equals personal AI assistant. And so we're going to start to see like early MVPs of that go into consumers' hands. And lastly, I think that and believe, and our research is pointing to that the overlap of AI and robotics is really going to start to have a measurable impact. Capabilities expansion will lead to value expansion, better ROI, which will increase the rate of adoption and grow the addressable market. So kind of this perfect storm for this new wave of adoption into the crossover of AI and robotics.
That's incredible, Zeno. You got me thinking about Think even more in just the world of AI. Thank you for making the time. I know I'm going to see you down in Miami at the Exchange conference where we can talk more about AI strategies, AI investments, AI business applications, personal applications. Have a wonderful end of the year, and I'll see you in 2024. Thank you, Zeno.
Happy New Year. See you then.